right, what are we talking about? The Rebbe is speaking here in this speech that he gave in 1991, near the end of 1991. Is that right? Yes. And yeah, in this speech, the Rebbe is talking about the destruction of the temple and the fast day that we fast on the seventh day of Tammuz, which was the beginning of the destruction of the temple. They broke through the walls of the temple. So the Rebbe says that this was a terrible thing. The destruction of the first temple in many ways was worse than the Holocaust. It affected all the Jews in the world, all of them. They all felt it. And it could be a bigger percentage of the Jews were killed. For sure, millions and millions of Jews were killed. But nevertheless, as terrible and as tragic as it is, it can be transformed. And that's the whole purpose of the Jewish people, to transform the bad to good. But it's bad to transform the bad to good. And that's hinted at the fact that 17th day of Tammuz, 17 is the numerical value of Tov, of good. And the Rebbe even stressed that there's three types of good in the world. The way God created the world was good. Man working in the world to improve it, that's also good, even though not as good as God's creation. We're still fixing things up. But it's also good that we can try to fix things up. And then there's God's reaction to our efforts. And that's even better than the creation itself. And that's what it's talking about, the 17th day of Tammuz. That represents, or should arouse, our efforts to change the world, to change ourselves, to change the darkness that prevails in this world, the ignorance, the selfishness, our efforts to change it. That's the 17th day of Tammuz. It's a wake-up call. A wake-up call. And through our efforts will be revealed the reason why all this terrible stuff happened. So this gives a little bit of a hint, and that's why it says in the prophet Zechariah that in the future all of these fast days, which commemorate remind us of the destruction of the temple, the 9th of Av, and etc., will all be transformed to holidays and feasting, implying that they'll be even higher than all the other holidays that there are in Judaism. Simchat Torah, the joy with the Torah, happiest day of the year, right? It'll be happier than that. The transforming bad to good is a higher type of good than all of the good that comes from the Torah. Okay, this is also, we can stress also when Shabbat falls on the 10th day of the month. Now, when the Rebbe was speaking in 1991, the Jewish calendar, the dates came out a little bit different according to the days of the week. Right? The Jewish calendar goes according to the sun, which means the holidays are always in the same seasons they're supposed to be in, the sun, but they also go according to the moon. So the moon, it gets bigger and smaller. The moon has no connection whatsoever to the days of the week. The moon. Sometimes you can have a full moon on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, but that doesn't have any connection to the days of the week. So the 10th day of the month, that's according to the moon. But the days of the week, that's not according to anything. Right? It's according to the revolution of the sun around the earth. Or the earth around the sun, however you want to look at it. Well, Kasher Shiva also, when the 10th day of Tammuz falls on Shabbat, that's what it was by the Rebbe. So they didn't fast. If the 17th day of Tammuz was a fast day, commemorating the beginning of the destruction of the temple, when that falls on Shabbat, you don't fast. Hare, the Shabbat before that, that from it is blessed the Shabbat of the 17th day of Tammuz, is always the 10th day of the month. That's what it was back then of Tammuz. Yeshloma, we can say that there's a big hint over here. Beinyan Shavi, the number Shabbat is the number 7, number 7th day of the week. And Asiri, that's the 10th day of the month. Just give me 1 second. I want to turn on the air conditioner. Over here, it's getting warm. One second, 1 minute. 1 minute. Okay. So Shabbat is number 7. That's what God did. God made the world in 7 days. The number 10, that's what the rabbis did. The rabbis, they determine the days of the month. That someone had to see the moon, and they would run to the holy temple, and they would decide what they would decide if it was a new month or not. And eventually, like about 200 years after the second temple was destroyed, there was a great rabbi called Hillel, not the Hillel and Shammai, a great rabbi called Hillel, and he also was a rabbi, and he set a calendar for all. So it was set by the rabbis. So the 10th day of the month, that goes by us, joining this good, which is God's good, the day of the week, and the good, our good, the days that the rabbis determine. This is joining good, revealed good, that's the days of the week, and a tova ne'elam, and concealed good, that's the days of the month. That's what's revealed by means of our work from below. By means of this is drawn down a blessing. Blessing means, how do you say, a drawing down of godliness and an empowering to Shabbat afterward, the next Shabbat, to join these two together, what God does and what we do. Shabbat, which is the 7th day, and the 10th, Shabbat, and connecting the 17th day of Tammuz, which 17 we said is good. But 1 second, it's a fast day. What's good about that? It's commemorating the destruction of the temple. That's even worse. It says, but inside of it is concealed good, Gilui Tov, the Shabbat, a revealed good of Shabbat, which comes revelation of inner good, which is concealed in the 7th, number 17. That's the 17th day of Tammuz. Maybe I can give you an example. There is what's called heroes. You ever hear of that? A hero. Once I watched the whole series called Medal of Valor. It's the soldiers that got medals of honor in the World War II, World War I, the Korean War, right? All these people are heroes. What's a person that's a hero? Right? The people that stayed at home, they're not heroes. Right? Geniuses that helped Albert Einstein, he's not a hero. Not considered a hero. Why? Because he didn't defy any evil. A person that defies evil, he gets a special medal. He's a special person. He is a hero. Well, God sends bad things in the world so that all of us will become heroes. We will arouse the power of defiance and our dedication to good in the face of insurmountable obstacles. They're insurmountable because nobody else wants to overcome them. But someone who does is called a hero, and that's what we're here in the world for. And that transforms the obstacle of the destruction of the temple and all the bad things, the 17th day of Tammuz, to good, Tov, which is the Gematria 17. Yesh l'kasher, that we can also attach this with the fact that on the 17th day of Tammuz was broken the tablets. Moses came down from Mount Sinai. He saw the Jewish people worshiping the golden calf, and he broke the tablets. Now, there's nothing more precious to the Jewish people than the Torah. And the Torah that we have is precious, it's true, but infinitely more precious are the 2 tablets that Moses got from Mount Sinai. He got them directly from God. God wrote the letters. But in the first tablets, the tablets themselves were from God. The second tablets, this is Moshe carved out the tablets, and God just wrote on them. But the first tablets, they were the Luchot Maaseh Elokim, the whole tablets, and the writing is pure godliness, pure life. That's the tree of life. The tablets, the holy will of the essence of God. The reason why God created the world, why he's keeping us alive, why he's creating us, why. That's the tablets for the Torah, the holy Torah. Moses came down from Mount Sinai and he saw the Jewish people didn't wait. They were supposed to wait 40 days. True, they miscalculated. Okay, they thought they did wait 40 days, but it doesn't make any difference. What was their option? They didn't get all depressed and all worried. No, they worshiped the golden calf. What type of a weird thing to do is that? But that's what they all did. And Moses said, what can I do? And he broke the tablets. So there's a lot of reasons, explanations why he broke the tablets. Is that the holiness went away from the tablets, and the tablets became so heavy that he broke them. Another reason is that he said that God said, I'm going to wipe out the Jewish people. And Moses said, what are they doing wrong? So what do you mean they're doing wrong? They're worshiping idols. And God said, well, and Moses said, what's wrong with worshiping idols? Where does that say that it's forbidden to worship idols? And God said, what do you mean? What does it say? It says in the tablets, you're holding in your hands. He said, oh, and he broke the tablets to save the Jewish people. So it says over there, when Moses broke the tablets, there is inner good. Inner good. He broke the most precious thing there is in Judaism, and it was good. Why? Sha'al Yadon. By means of this, there was added on in the second tablets a lot more Torah, like it says in the Midrash. And therefore, God said to Moses, in addition to the fact that he saved the Jews, Yesher Kocho Sheshavarta. Right in the end of the Torah, the last sentences over in Deuteronomy, it says, Haluchot Asher Shibarta, the tablets that you broke. No, I'm sorry, it's okay. It's in the end of Deuteronomy also, but this sentence is not. It says, Moshe, the Luchot Asher Shibarta, that you broke, it says, Yesher Asher means to be happy. Yesher Kocha, it is good. It's a wonderful thing. I'm happy that you broke the tablets. It made me happy. Why? This breaking the tablets, the worst thing in the world. I mean, that's worse than the destruction of the temple. Breaking the tablets. When the temple was destroyed, the first temple was destroyed, said King Solomon, when he built the temple, he sensed it was going to be, that's what Maimonides says, he sensed it was going to be destroyed, so he made a special room in winding, twisting chambers down deep under the temple, that the ark would be hidden down there. No one would see it, wouldn't be destroyed. And it says that the king Yeshayahu, it was like 70 years before the temple was destroyed, he hid the tablets down there. So the tablets were precious, they were never broken. And Moses broke them. He broke the tablets. And God said, that's good. Why? Because it's like doing tshuva, like the idea of returning to God. Returning to God in a way is higher than never having done any sins. That's not telling you to do sins and to return, but it's telling you that returning to, which, I mean, basically we always have to return. Returning to God is not just from sins. Returning from God is also from insensitivity. Anyway, Shebazan is Mikablin, by means of defying evil and transforming ourselves, that we're only interested in good and doing what God wants. This brought about help from God, and God agreed and he said, Yesha Kochara, I'm very happy you broke them. The Shabbat, which is before this, which that's within the first 40 days that Moses was on Mount Sinai, right? Moses was on Mount Sinai. When did he go up? It says Moses went up on Mount Sinai on the sixth day of Sivan, when the Jews got the Torah, Mount Sinai. So he went up on Mount Sinai, the sixth day of Sivan, and he was up there for 40 days. And so he came down on the 17th day of the next month, 17th day of the next month. He came down the 17th day of Tammuz, the next month after Sivan. So he was there, he came down. So Moses was there for 40 days. Within these 40 days is the 10th, like we are now, the 10th day of Tammuz. Also, Kodam Shapirs, this is before the tablets. So it comes out that the on the 10th day, that was Shabbat, the Shabbat before the fast day that was pushed away. It ends up that the Shabbat, which is before the 17th day of Tammuz, that's the service of tzaddikim. The tablets were still whole. Moses was on Mount Sinai. God was talking to him. That's the Shabbat before the 17th of Tammuz. These are the tablets that God made, and God made man straight. But on the 17th day of Tammuz, when he broke the tablets, that's even higher. That's the work of a Baal Tshuva. That's a Baal Tshuva. And it says an interesting thing, that that's what Moshiach is going to do, to make even the tzaddikim do tshuva. Tzaddikim, they never did any sins. But this thing of returning back to God from the darkness is higher than never having entered the darkness. That's why God put us into the body. So what's the Rebbe trying to say over here? The Rebbe is trying to say, he's looking at our generation. And like I said before, the Rebbe inherited the generations after the Holocaust. The Holocaust was a terrible, terrible blow to the Jewish people. A terrible tragedy. It seemed to be a clear indication that God has left us, or if he hasn't left us, he doesn't care, that he's far away. The whole thing that Judaism is bad, doing the commandments is counterproductive. The Holocaust sent us message that the evil wins. That's what the Holocaust sent us a message. Evil wins. Said the Rebbe, we have to transform it. We're here in the world not to be affected by the evil, not to lose our enthusiasm. We are heroes. Heroes defy the enemy, no matter how strong the enemy is. That's the story of Judaism. That's the story of us, each one of us. That's Abraham was one person, stood against the whole world. That's the reason for Jew hatred. The world opposes good. That's what the world is. It's a known thing that when the Holocaust was going on, that none of the countries in the world bombed the Auschwitz or bombed these places. They all knew what was going on. Why? Because Jews, whether they know it or not, whether they want it or not, whether they like it or not, whether they oppose it or not, whether they even heard of it or not, are the heroes of God. The Jews. Every Jew. Every little Jew. And in fact, the Jews that are the furthest away, that are the most ignorant, they can be the biggest heroes. They're the ones that can really advertise, right, godliness. It's happening now. There's Jews that are saying, I'm not religious, I don't care about anything, but someone's going to call me a dirty Jew. No way. I'm going to put on tefillin because of that, because of those guys. All of a sudden, Judaism comes popping up. We can even, that's the connection to this week's Torah portion, Parshat Chukat. What's it, Parshat Chukat? Parshat Chukat is talking about the red cow. The red cow is the antidote to the impurity of death. The reason that it's called Zot Torah, Zos Chukat HaTorah. It's the laws of the red cow. And in the Torah, it says, these are the laws of the red cow, right? Wrong. It doesn't say that. It says, these are the laws of the Torah. And afterwards, it explains about the red cow. The commandment of the red cow is called the laws, the statutes of the Torah. Even though there's just one commandment in the Torah. It's brought in Chassidut that because all of this commandment of the red cow includes in it two opposites of Ratzah v'Shuv. Ratzah means going to God, and Shuv means coming back to the world. Rotze means being enthusiastic about God, and Shov means taking this enthusiasm for God and bringing God's enthusiasm to fix up the world. That's what's called Shuv, to come back. The same thing with the red cow. First of all, the red cow was slaughtered. That freed its life, went up. Then it was burnt up. That's also going up. And then you put the ashes into water. Water comes down. Sreifat tapara, burning the cow and putting the cow into water, then putting these ashes into water in a vessel to hold. That these two things of running, going up to God and coming back, mitchaleket kololot Torah. This is the whole Torah. The whole Torah is supposed to be arousing us two things: enthusiasm to God, to be able to ignore the world. The Torah, God gave us the Holy Torah. Forget about the world. The world is just a big fake out. The Torah is really real. But on the other hand, why did God put the Torah in the world? Why? Because he wants us to fix the world up, to come back down. That's the chukka. In the Torah itself, that's the law of the Torah. The Torah is embodied by this thing of the red cow. The red cow against death. How can you have? You have to have both. First of all, a chukka. The Torah should inspire in us a tremendous desire and love, like flaming fire, of the Jewish people to become closer and closer to God. And then to do what God, that's what we want. And then to do what God wants, drawing godliness down into this physical world to make a dwelling place for God in the world. The Yesh Lomar, we can say that this ruts of a show, that this going up and coming back, there's enthusiasm and practicality, enthusiasm to come close to God. I don't care what happens to me. And practicality means I got to bring God into the world. I got to fix the world. These two opposites, they are like the difference between the number 7 and the number 10. The number 7, this idea of running, coming close to God, this indicates on the service of God, chukka, to go up to God. 7 is what God does, leaving the world, to be close to the Creator. And in a way, that the kalas nefesh that you want to, soul, wants to leave the world. I want to be connected to the Creator. That's, I'm sorry. 1 minute. I made a mistake. Going away from the world, that's the number 10. The Rebbe explained before that the number 10, it symbolizes two opposites. One hand, this number 10 symbolizes our work in the world, like the rabbis. They said that the world was made with 10 utterances, the rabbis. But the number 10 also, that shows on a complete revelation of God in the world, how God reacts. Remember, that's how we started the class. It says that's what's called, 1 minute. Yeah. That's right. I made a mistake. Okay. First of all, they have the colors and numbers. That's like the number 7. What am I talking about? No, good. I was right. I retract my retraction. First of all, you have to have the number 7, which is going above the world. That's the result, how God reacts to what we do. That's the number 10. That's without any limit. And then coming back into the world, that's coming into the world to draw down godliness into the physical world, into our bodies. That has to be by means of vessels. You have to make the vessels, and that, says the Rebbe, is the number 7. That's the number 7. The number 7 is coming back into the world. Okay, so again, not like I said in the beginning of the class, in the beginning of this section. The whole Torah is inspiring us to get away from the world and to be involved in the world, to fix up the world. That's what the Torah is. We can't fix up the world if we don't have the proper inspiration. So that we have to be inspired. Says the Rebbe, that's like the number 10 of total devotion to God. Bringing the godliness into the world, that's the number 7. God created the world in 7 days. Shlemut Avodah, the complete service of God, is uniting these two together. Uniting our enthusiasm to God, kalat nefesh, going away from the world. But there has to be also the service of a soul in the body. Kisherotze liot murgeshet, they has to make felt in the world. You have to make it revealed in the world. The intention of why God created the world, that we should make the world a godly place. That's the whole secret of the Holy Temple. The Holy Temple was a physical building, and in it was revealed God. That's in the shuv itself. You have to feel that necessarily that God is forcing you to be alive. When you're working in the world, you have to feel that really what I really want to be is close to God. So in other words, you're working in the world, but you're doing it only because God wants you to. If you had your way, you would just want to be close to the truth. The world is so deceptive and so fickle. I don't want to have anything to do with the world, but God does want me to have something to do with the world. So my soul is connected to God. I want to be close to the truth. This world is very, very false, terrible. It lures you into doing things that are just, you're totally meaningless in the world, right? People, they die from the world and they've got a lot of money and they had a lot of pleasures and everything. And the last minute they realize they have nothing. It's like a thief comes in the night and steals everything you've got. But all of your work is just gone. The world becomes like a big con man, stole everything you had, a big Madoff, stole everything you got, tricked you into thinking that you were really getting something done. And really the whole thing was a big nothing. Says the Rebbe, but maybe that's all there is. Says that's the whole point. The Torah, godliness is permanent. It's true. It's real. When a person realizes that, he doesn't want to have anything to do with the world. Says that's what you want, to be away from the world, but that's not what God wants. God didn't create the world that you should leave it. God wants us to fix up the world, so therefore you have to be connected, enthusiastic about God, and take that same enthusiasm and bring it into the world. And in more detail, we can say that in the days of the month, there is these two opposites of running and coming back. It says that by the story with King David, before he was a king, and Jonathan, the son of Shaul, that King Saul hated him. So he said, don't come to the feast that King Saul is going to make on Rosh Chodesh, on the beginning of next month. There's a big feast, and he will notice you because your place is empty. Let's see how King Saul reacts. And it ended up that King Saul got tremendously angered, and he tried to kill his son, right, because he sided with King David. But this is Nifkanata, you will be noticed because your place is empty. So noticed means that you're paying attention to. And Yifkod means that it's empty, it's not there. That's Miut Halavana. Mora al Bitula. This is the lessening of the moon, which shows on surrender to God. Yipoked, that you're not there. You want to be close to God. That this is because of Rotzoy, that you want to leave the world. Get away from it. Be closer to the light of the sun. That's the creator. And Aidi the Torah, the Mivla lo Miflat. While you're busy swallowing godliness, you can't deal with the world. You can't do anything in the world. But afterwards, you've got to, that you should be empty. That's the idea of going away up to God. And this brings afterwards to what's called the birth of the new moon, shining into the physical world, coming and illuminating the world. So what's the Rebbe saying? The problem is a problem, and the solution is up to us. The problem is that we're in exile. The problem is that we don't know that we're in exile. It's so dark that we think that that's all there is darkness. The temple is destroyed. The world is very bad. We can think that that's the way it is. Frustrating, depressing, maddening. The world is so how do you say, cruel and evil. Says the Rebbe, that's the way that God made it, and he made it that way for us to fix up. How do we have to fix up? We have to have two movements. One is getting out of the world. Don't let the world have any effect on us at all. Step number one. Step number two, that we should come and, yes, affect the world. And that's the whole idea of the red cow, that it gets rid of death. And that's why the red cow is called the laws of the Torah, because that's the whole point of the Torah, is to get rid of death by means of defying the world and then transforming the world. And transforming the world doesn't mean you have to transform the whole world. It just means your area where you are, widen it a little bit. Have a good effect on people that are around you. Don't let the world have a bad effect on you. We have no idea how much blessing is achieved if you just don't get angry. You hold yourself back. If you just say a good word to somebody, add a little bit of light. The power to do this can come from the Torah. That's why God gave the Torah to fix up the world, as we'll talk about more, God willing, tomorrow.